And then what did he do? He came back and recreated history.
Woo!
It's My crazy. Man's streaking right now.
It's crazy. Yes, Jericho.
Let's go. No, don't call him that. No, don't call him that.
No, I apologize. Error.
Come on.
Listen, you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for the Celebrity Prognosticator segment because I'm on a roll, Daddy-O.
It is crazy. He went 4-1 last week. Colin Cowherd was 1-4. He just learned right now that he went 4-1 last week. You're not tracking your picks. You're not paying attention. You're just sideswiping Cowherd every week, not trying at all. Correct?
Why do you still have that hack involved on your show, man? He's the guy that gets paid big bucks to call this stuff. I can't even remember. They just come to me as if in a dream, Dan. And here we are. People are making money off Jericho. You're making money off Jericho. Everything is going great. That's why I'm back, as you knew I would be.
It is amazing. It has been a run. Now, Carrot Top does dispute that Jericho is the real champion. I invited him to be on here. And so at some point, hopefully we can get you, because he says still that he's the real champion. But because you're writing on AEW, Jericho, can we get a storyline? We wanted something better than this Universal Champion. We wanted a solar system belt or something. Like, can we just go to even more extreme to make someone a champion of planets known and unknown? Can we create a belt that's, never been created before?
We can do whatever we want, man. It's our show. And I did say our because I feel like I'm just as much of a part of it now, at least as much as Stu Gotts is. He's not even on the line today. So what the hell does he know? So we can do whatever we want. What do you want to do? You want to create an intergalactic championship? You want to create a championship that's only defended in Zimbabwe? You want to do a Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan championship? What do you want, man? The world is your oyster. I mean, you say it, I'll make it happen.
Come on, we've got to make this happen. You guys,
a championship of time and space.
That's good. I like that one. That's good. That could work. Anytime and any space, whoever owns that title is the champion, which is basically omnipotent. That's a good word.
Your challenger could be George Washington one day. Who knows?
It could be. It could be George Washington Carver. I'll stuff those peanuts right up his ass. What do you think about that? That's what I'll do.
Would you cut a promo on Genghis Khan?
It seems aggressive.
Genghis Khan, Tony Khan, freaking Gandhi. His last name might be Khan. I'm not sure, but the Wrath of Khan, Ricardo Montalban, whatever you want. They're all going downtown to Chinatown, man. Time and Space Continuum Championship. They're all gonna get some.
I want to do this. I want him to fight. I want him to cut wrestling promos across all of entertainment.
I'm not sure we're gonna get better than I'll shove peanuts right up George Washington Carver's ass.
I mean, you doing a
That's pretty good off the top of his head.
You never thought that was coming today, did you?
No, didn't see that coming.
Let's go ahead and pick these games.
And now it is time for Celebrity Prognosticator. Let's win some money.
Last week, you told an amazing Mickey Rourke story. I don't want to be this lazy about it, Jericho, but what do you consider your best story? Like your best wrestling story? Because you're an entertainer and a storyteller, and you have so many of these. You just farted out a Mickey Rourke story that was unbelievable. Do you have a favorite story?
It's one of those things where you say to a comedian, like, be funny, do something funny. Like when the situation presents itself, I got a story about just about everything. So that's why I also have 5 books, which I'm sure you've read all 5 of them. I'm sure you use them as almost entertainment sports Bibles with all of the experiences and great stories that I have. My all-time favorite story, though, is by far the dumbest story I've ever had. I was on a plane to India, and we had to transfer through Frankfurt, Germany. And this was about 2002 when we still had Discmans. Look it up, kids. You would basically bring a box of CDs, and then you would put them in your Discman, and that was what you would listen to pre-iPod. So I had left my Discman on the plane when I got off. And when you get off the plane, as you guys know, if you forget something, you got to wait for all the salmon to swim downstream so you can get back on the plane. So I was sitting, pretty, whatever I was sitting. It took a while for the people to get off. So I'm standing and I look over and I see this kind of rotund, portly man in a wheelchair. and he's got super dyed black eyebrows, super dyed black beard, and kind of receding hairline, super dyed. I'm like, that guy's super familiar. And then I realized, oh my gosh, that's Luciano Pavarotti, possibly the most famous person in the history of the world. If you go by the European designations. So I'm just looking at him, and when I look at him, he looks at me, and then we lock eyes. And whenever you lock eyes, that's when you got to say something, right? You can't just stand there and be like looking at each other. So I just asked him. I had some Dentyne. I said, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?" And he said, "No, stick it to the dentures. But go ahead, have some gum." So I had some gum, and then I said, "How's it going?" He's good. "Oh, it's good. You know, my foot is sore." I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool, man." So finally, I get to go back on to the plane and grab my Discman. I'm like, I'm gonna get Pavarotti to sign my Discman. And I run back up, and he's just getting wheeled away by his handlers. And I'm like, "Mr. Pavarotti, sign, please." He goes, "No autograph, no autograph." So he didn't want to chew the gum because it's sticking to the denture, but he wouldn't sign my fucking Discman either. So
and you're still carrying the rejection with you all these years later. It hurts you.
I like just the sticker to the dentures. Like, that's a real. I'm not exaggerating this with like some stupid like Italian goofy accent. He said sticker to the denture, and I was like, that's probably the best line ever quoted by Luciano Pavarotti by far.
Are you ready to do the games?
I left you guys speechless with that one.
It was great.
You didn't think you'd be talking about George Washington Carver and Pavarotti on the show this morning,
well,
did
it's
you?
because Mike Ryan was telling me that Abe Lincoln evidently developed or invented the choke slam.
Yeah, I just read this right now as we continue your defense of the championship of space and time. Abe Lincoln might pose a threat because he invented one of the go-to moves for all the great wrestling big men, the choke slam.
Well, I don't know if he invented a choke slam, but there is actually stories and reports that Abe Lincoln was a pro wrestler. Absolutely. That is true. The choke slam you might be pushing it on that one, but the fact he was a pro wrestler at some point is a fairly well-documented story.
Next
and
week,
listen, if he shows his face, I'll kick his ass too. I don't care. Emancipation, who gives a shit? I'm ready to rock it. I don't care.
I do actually.
You're healing. You can't heal Abraham Lincoln. I don't think so.
We called Honest Abe a liar.
Yeah, you did.
No, you can't do
Oh
any
my
of
God,
what you
that
just
is
did.
nuclear heat you're getting
nothing.
right now,
Don't do
Jericho.
no, you don't just
Think
leave.
of the promos.
No,
Four
leave-
score and
no,
20 years ago, I beat Abe Lincoln's ass.
No, leave Lincoln alone and yeah.
I don't care. I'm crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'll fight anybody in time and space.
You end your promo with, "Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?" And you drop the mic.
Boom. Mic drop. Bam.
Yeah. All right. Next week we'll have a wrestling promo for Abe Lincoln. Bengals at Ravens. Ravens -6.5. Who you got?
Wow. Cincinnati's kind of a boring team, and I do like the English heavy metal band Raven. So I'm going to go with Raven.
Panthers at Giants. Giants +3 at home. Who you got?
Giants. You can't beat Giants at home. That's my opinion.
I believe everyone has.
You know what? Don't question the greatest celebrity prognosticator's
You
motives.
guys could think my reasoning is ridiculous, but here I am, and Cowherd's at home
but they lost.
with
They
his
lost.
numbers and his stats.
They
I'm going
just
by a new
lost
wave of British heavy metal bands.
They lost
more
38-11
than
at home.
Anyone in the league.
It was a scoregami.
Chiefs at Titans. Titans +4 at home.
Titans had a good game this week, but I like Mahomes. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Eagles at Raiders.
Who owned the Chiefs, Dan? Who owned the Chiefs?
Why are you shouting
That's
back at me?
a slap shot joke, I think.
Oh, I missed
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
You know what? I've never seen Slapshot.
What?
I've never
Really?
seen
You
it.
what?
Never
All
seen
right,
it.
that does it. Next
Okay.
week, I'm taking over the show.
Eagles
It's
at
the Chris
Raiders.
Jericho show.
I'm embarrassed. The Raiders -3. Who you got?
Who's the first team?
Eagles at Raiders.
Fly like an eagle to the sea.
He keeps picking the
Absolutely.
Eagles.
Well, love
One
to
of
see
these
Miller down.
nights, the Eagles are going to win, and that night is next weekend.
Texans at Cardinals. Cardinals -17.
Oh, I mean, come on, dude. Yeah, I'm going with the Texans for that one for sure.
Wait a minute. What just happened there? That's
the
a
card Texans.
Which is it? There's
which
some
one is it?
confusion. The card Texans. You're picking.
The Kardashians.
Okay.
What are you guys talking about? I said sorry for not being completely. I had one little mumble out of 1,000 great stories and carrying this show.
Yeah.
The Texans, Texans. Read my lips. Texans.
You're taking a 17-point dog against the NFL's only undefeated team, but I have faith in you, Chris Jericho.
Hold on a second. Whoa. I thought you said that they were minus 17.
Well,
Wait, please tell me that he doesn't understand how the point spreads work. Because
I do understand. Didn't
No,
you
I
say
hope
the
you
Texans-
don't.
the Cardinals
I want you to
are
not.
so minus 17 means they're favored by 17 points. That's the Cardinals who are undefeated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, you know what?
Double down.
I'm going Texans.
Yeah. Send it to us, guys.
No fear. No fear.
A Colin Cowherd would have went, oh, I made a mistake. Let's change it to the easy. No, every team. Listen, Jacksonville won this week. Every team can win. That's the great thing about the parity in the league of the NFL. Every team has a chance. This is going to be like Bad News Bears, except for they're going to win and not lose and drink underage in front of Buttermaker. This is the opposite of that. They're going to win, have a great celebration, and I'm going to be leading the charge with my parade.
He's never been wrong.
An excellent Buttermaker reference. The coach in Bad News Bears, Jericho. No, that's sophisticated.
I'm glad you got that one since you whiffed on the slap shot.
Thank you for being on with us. Hopefully, we'll talk to you next week.
There's no hopefully. I told you before. I'll see you next week.
You keep
and
saying
Dan,
it,
here's your homework. If you're sitting at home tonight with a big cigar and having a beer or a coffee or whatever, watch Slapshot, one of the greatest sports movies of all time. Mark my words. You will love it. It's amazing.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Slapshot one of the greatest movies of all time?
Sports movies or greatest movies, but sports movies too.
Thank you, Jericho. Next week.
Au revoir.
Yeah, next week.
Take it to the den, Chuck.
Next week you kick Harry S. Truman's ass.